Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. My beloved brothers and sisters, sometimes in life we find ourselves making dua, crying to Allah, begging Him to open a door, to solve a problem, to remove a difficulty. And yet, we feel like there's a delay. We begin to wonder, why is Allah not answering me? But I want to remind you today, the delay is not a denial. When Allah delays, He is never being unfair. Rather, He is preparing you for something far greater than what you asked for. Subhanallah. You see, the wisdom of Allah is far beyond our understanding. At times, what we want is not what we need, and what we think is good for us may in fact harm us. So Allah, in His infinite mercy, withholds it, not to hurt you but to strengthen you, to protect you, and to grant you something even better at the perfect time. That's the love of your Rabb. So don't lose hope when there's a delay. Don't stop making dua. Don't turn away thinking you're being ignored. Rather, turn towards Allah even more, knowing that something beautiful is being prepared for you. In this world or the next, trust His plan. Because when Allah delays, it's never empty. It's full of divine wisdom and greatness waiting to unfold. When we face delays in life, especially when it comes to things we deeply desire, like a job, a spouse, healing, or relief from hardship, it can be extremely difficult to stay calm. Many people begin to feel ignored or even abandoned. But one of the most powerful reminders we must hold on to is this: a delay from Allah is not a denial. Just because your dua hasn't been answered immediately doesn't mean it has been rejected. Allah hears every whisper of your heart. He knows every tear that falls from your eyes, and He is aware of every silent prayer you've made in the darkness of the night. The delay is not due to His forgetfulness or negligence. Allah is never in error. It is due to His wisdom and His plan, which is far superior to our limited understanding. Often we associate love with instant response. But Allah in His mercy may delay something because He knows the time is not right, or because what we are asking for may harm us more than benefit us. He may be protecting us from something we cannot see. Just like a child may cry for something harmful, the parent out of love holds it back. That is a form of care, not cruelty. Similarly, Allah withholds delay certain things because He knows we are not yet ready, or because He is preparing something far greater in the background. His delay could mean the difference between a temporary relief and a long-lasting blessing. In fact, sometimes the very delay you are complaining about becomes the reason you grow closer to Him. When things don't come easy, we fall into sincere prayer. We reflect. We humble ourselves. Our connection with Allah strengthens. That alone is a blessing greater than the thing you're asking for. And then, when the time is right, when your heart is aligned, when the test has purified you, Allah opens the door in the most beautiful way, and you realize that had it come earlier, you may not have appreciated it, or worse, you may not have been able to handle it. So never assume that silence from the heavens means rejection. Sometimes the silence is full of preparation. Sometimes Allah is writing a story for you that will make sense only when the full picture is revealed. And when it does, you'll thank Him for not giving you what you wanted when you wanted it. You'll be grateful for the delay, because it led to something far better than you imagined. So keep praying, keep trusting, and keep believing. A delay from Allah is never a denial. It is preparation for something far greater. Tests are a natural part of life, and for the believer, they are not a sign of Allah's anger but rather a sign of His love. When Allah tests us, especially through delays, hardships, or unanswered prayers, He is actually giving us an opportunity to develop one of the most powerful qualities a believer can possess: patience. And patience is not simply the act of waiting. It is the attitude we carry while we wait. It is the ability to remain firm, hopeful, and trusting in Allah, even when nothing seems to be going our way. The truth is, without being tested, we don't grow. Without moments of difficulty, we never really get to see the strength of our faith. Just like gold must be purified through fire, a believer's heart is polished through trials. And during those trials, the main tool that keeps us steady is patience. When Allah delays something you really want, it's not to break you. It's to train you. It's to mold you into a better version of yourself. Someone who can handle bigger blessings, heavier responsibilities, and greater rewards. Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear, but He does push you to the edge so that you grow. Many people turn away from Allah during delays because they feel forgotten. But the strongest believers understand that these moments are the most valuable. They are the times when we are being shaped and refined. They are when the heart becomes soft, and the tongue remembers Allah more. They are when we realize that our true strength does not lie in our efforts alone, but in our submission to Allah's will. These delays are not without purpose. They are spiritual workouts, increasing our endurance and preparing us for what's to come. Patience also opens the door to divine closeness. In fact, Allah mentions in the Quran that He is with the patient. Imagine that Allah, the Lord of the worlds, is with you when you're patient. That means you are not alone in your waiting. You're not alone in your sadness. You are supported and guided. Even if it feels like no one else understands your pain, the presence of Allah with the patient is a powerful gift, and it is often felt most during times of delay and difficulty. Furthermore, when we show patience, we are showing trust in Allah's plan, and trust is the foundation of true faith. Anyone can be grateful when things are easy, but the real test is whether we can remain grateful and hopeful during delays. That's what separates those who truly rely on Allah from those who only turn to Him when things are convenient. So when you feel tested by delay, don't see it as a punishment. See it as training. Your patience today is building a stronger version of you for tomorrow. It is laying the foundation for a deeper faith, and that faith will lead you to something far greater than you could ever imagine. One of the most comforting truths a believer can hold on to is that Allah's timing is always perfect. Even when it feels late to us, even when we are desperate for change or relief, the timing chosen by Allah is never a mistake. It might not align with our calendar or expectations, but it always aligns with His divine wisdom. As human beings, we are bound by time. We plan, we schedule, we expect things to happen at a certain pace. But Allah is not limited by time. He created it, He controls it, and He sees the past, present, and future in ways we cannot comprehend. Often, we want something so badly that we start to believe it must happen now. We feel like time is running out, like we're being left behind. But the reality is, if something is written for you, it will come to you at exactly the moment Allah has decreed, not a second earlier, not a moment later. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Know that what has passed you by was never going to befall you, and what has befallen you was never going to pass you by." This means that nothing in your life is delayed without purpose. If you didn't get something today, it's because today is not the right day for it. Sometimes we pray for something and it doesn't happen right away. We might feel disheartened or even question if our du's are being heard. But Allah is all Hakim, the most wise. He knows that giving you something too early might harm you. Maybe your heart isn't ready. Maybe your character still needs shaping. Or maybe what you're asking for will come to you in a better form than you imagined, just not the time you expected. Allah delays not to hurt you, but to give you what you need when it will benefit you most. There are countless examples in life where we realize, in hindsight, that something happened at the best possible time. At the moment, we may have been frustrated or upset. But later, when we see the full picture, we realize how beautifully things fell into place. That's how Allah's timing works. It doesn't just meet our needs. It exceeds our imagination. But it requires trust and patience from us. The delay is part of the story. It's part of the journey that builds you into someone capable of handling the blessing. And when the blessing finally arrives, you'll appreciate it in ways you never would have if it had come earlier. So instead of rushing the process, surrender to it. Instead of questioning the delay, reflect on what it's teaching you. Because every second Allah makes you wait, He is preparing something meaningful, and He is preparing you for it. His timing is perfect because His knowledge is complete, His mercy is boundless, and His plan is always better than our own. In life we often see delays as obstacles or setbacks. We interpret them as signs that our prayers are not being answered or that things are going wrong. But from an Islamic perspective, many of these delays are actually hidden blessings. They come wrapped in silence, patience and time, but inside they carry lessons, growth, protection, and divine wisdom that only Allah understands. Sometimes what you perceive as a setback is actually a setup for something better. And often, the blessing is not in what you receive, but in what you are saved from. When Allah delays something you've been asking for, it might be because He knows that what you're seeking is not as good as it appears. Just as we don't always see the dangers hidden in what we desire, Allah protects us from those harms through delays. It could be a job that would have led you away from your faith, a relationship that might have broken your spirit, or a move that seemed perfect but would have distanced you from your purpose. In each of these cases, Allah's delay isn't a punishment. It's mercy. It's a hidden blessing that protects you from what you cannot see. Sometimes the delay itself becomes the blessing. During that period of waiting you grow. Your character strengthens. You become more grateful, more humble, and more reliant on Allah. Without the delay, you might not have prayed as sincerely. You might not have reconnected with the Quran, or developed the patience and emotional maturity needed for the blessing you are asking for. The waiting season is often where the real transformation happens. And when the blessing finally comes, you're able to handle it, appreciate it, and protect it far more than you would have if it came too soon. There are also blessings in the way Allah reshapes our desires during delays. Sometimes we begin by asking for one thing, but through time and reflection, we realize it wasn't what we truly needed. The delay gives us space to see more clearly. Our does evolve, our hearts shift, and often, Allah gives us something even better than what we originally asked for. It might not match our original plan, but it exceeds it in benefit, in peace, and in long-term value. The Prophet Muhammad, and peace be upon him, taught us that if we knew how Allah manages our affairs behind the scenes, we would fall in love with His decisions. That includes the delays. What we see as empty time is actually full of divine arrangement. Every moment that passes without an answer is still moving you closer to what is written for you. So instead of being frustrated, be curious. Instead of doubting, be hopeful. Ask yourself, what is Allah teaching me right now? Because behind every delay is a hidden blessing, whether it's growth, protection, redirection, or something far greater than what you imagined. Allah never delays without reason, and His reasons are always rooted in love, mercy and wisdom. Growth is not something that always happens in ease and comfort. In fact, the most meaningful and lasting growth often takes place in the quiet, difficult seasons, when we are waiting, wondering, and unsure of what's next. When Allah delays something in your life, it may not be because you are not worthy of it, but because your soul still needs time to grow into the version of you that can carry that blessing responsibly. The waiting period, as uncomfortable as it may be, is where true transformation happens. It is the soil where your character, patience, and reliance on Allah take root and begin to bloom. Many of us focus so much on the goal, what we want, what we are praying for, that we overlook what Allah is doing within us during the delay. If you take a step back and reflect, you'll realize that the person you were when you first made the dua is not the same person you are today. The delay made you dig deeper. It made you learn more about yourself. It made you ask questions, reflect, and connect with Allah in ways that you might not have if everything had been handed to you instantly. Growth doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when things are unclear. It happens when your heart is aching, but you still say, Alhamdulillah. It happens when you don't know what tomorrow holds, but you trust Allah anyway. These are the moments that develop spiritual strength, the kind that no book or lecture can teach. Only life through Allah's design can teach you that kind of growth. And more often than not, that growth is born in delay. Think about the most beautiful trees in the world. They didn't sprout overnight. Their roots had to push through dirt, struggle against resistance, and stay grounded through every storm. But in that process they became strong and unshakable. That's what Allah is doing with you in your season of waiting. He is planting something deep within you, something that can only grow time, challenge, and perseverance. And let's be honest, if everything came instantly, we would never appreciate it. We would never feel the sweetness of answered prayer after a long wait, or the peace of finally understanding why something didn't happen the way we wanted it to. The delay gives you depth. It humbles you. It brings your attention back to the one who controls all affairs. And in doing so, it prepares you not just to receive the blessing, but to honor it when it comes. So if you're in a season of waiting, don't waste it, don't sit idle, and don't let your heart be consumed by frustration. Use this time to grow, work on yourself, increase your connection with Allah, focus on becoming the kind of person who's not only ready for the blessing, but who deserves it. Because when Allah delays, He's not punishing you. He's growing you into someone far greater than you were before. In life, we often find ourselves stuck in confusion, wondering why things aren't moving the way we expected. We plan, we dream, and we ask Allah for certain outcomes, but then we face delays, closed doors, or unexpected detours. It's during these moments that our trust in Allah is truly tested. And it is in these very moments that we must remind ourselves Allah sees the full picture, while we only see a small part. What appears to be a delay or even a setback might actually be a step towards something far greater, something we're just not able to see yet. Imagine someone assembling a giant, beautiful puzzle. If you only saw one or two pieces, you might think it looks incomplete or meaningless. But when the entire puzzle is finished, it reveals a picture full of harmony, beauty, and design. That is exactly how Allah operates in our lives. He is putting every piece together with precision, even the pieces that look like delays, heartbreak, or hardship. He knows exactly where they fit. And when the full picture is revealed, we will see how perfectly everything came together. We have limited knowledge, and often we make judgments based on what we feel in the moment. If something makes us uncomfortable or doesn't arrive when we want it, we start to assume it's bad for us or that we've been ignored. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, protects us from what we cannot see. He redirects us from what we think we need, only to guide us towards something better for our hearts, our future, and even our afterlife. And all along, His knowledge encompasses what we'll never fully grasp. This is why trusting the process is so important. It means surrendering the illusion of control and placing our reliance on the one who actually knows what's best. It means continuing to make dua, doing our part, and then letting go of the urge to rush or question Allah's plan. Trusting the process is not passive, it's active faith. It means believing that even when things seem silent, Allah is working behind the scenes for our benefit. It's also worth remembering that the trials and delays we face are not random. They are part of a divine script written specifically for us. Each moment is designed to teach us something, to strengthen our hearts, and to refine our character. And often it is only after we've walked through the struggle that we can look back and say, now I understand why that had to happen. So when you're in a place of waiting or uncertainty, hold tightly to this truth: Allah knows what you do not. His knowledge is vast. His mercy is unmatched, and His timing is flawless. What He has planned for you is not just good. it is perfect for you. Trust the process and keep your heart connected to the one who sees the entire journey from beginning to end, because he never wastes a delay, and he never makes a mistake. My beloved brothers and sisters, as we reflect on the delays we face in life, whether they are in our du'as, dreams, or daily struggles, let us never forget that Allah's delay is never without purpose. Every moment of waiting, every silent prayer, every closed door is part of a divine plan that is filled with wisdom, mercy, and love. When Allah delays, He is not denying you, He is developing you. He is building your patience, strengthening your faith, and preparing your heart for something far greater than what you ever imagined. The delay is a reminder to realign our trust, not in people, not in plans, but in Allah alone, because only He knows the perfect time, the perfect place, and the perfect way for your story to unfold. And when the time is right, not a force on earth will be able to stop what Allah has written for you. So continue to make dua, continue to do your best, and leave the rest to the one who never makes a mistake. May Allah grant us the strength to be patient in times of delay, the clarity to see His wisdom in all things, and the faith to trust His perfect timing. Ameen.